What do you got? What are we talking about today?
Well, I think Kurt's back in there. I'm assuming that's a good sign. How's it feeling?
Yeah, everything was clean on the MRI. Outside of just the bruising from the area, he feels strong, feels good. So I think we escaped one there.
Barnett going today. Just how do you kind of view maybe this workload and just kind of what you're maybe looking to get out of today's pitching game as well?
Well, I think build off of his outing last time out. I think we'll look to increase the pitch count. Obviously, it's not a full hand to go out there with, but I think he can manage this game in an effective way and get through 5 innings of work. That'd be really, really good.
When Ernest was here with you guys, Daryl, last year, this year, it seemed like he had the tools to be here for a very long time with the players. What are some of the things he needs to do in AAA to come back here and stay here?
Well, obviously performance is key. I think the areas for Daryl to make big improvements on. Daryl's a complete hitter, but there's some slug to Daryl that probably is needed. Defensively, I think he's still maturing, but overall, I think the infield depth right now, if you're looking at guys that are here, I mean, with Tommy, with Alika and his defensive capabilities and versatility, there's some similarities to all these guys, and I think just the separator right now is the performance.
Yes, I'm sure you have seen a reliever by the name of Gustavo Rodriguez with the Athletics in the minors, maybe in spring training. It seems like he's doing well down there with the 8 years. What kind of things you're hearing from him? And do you see him like a possible major league reliever with the Athletics sometime?
Anything's possible. We've tried young relievers here this year and haven't really had a ton of success. If you look at a guy like Tour, who was probably a very similar comp to Gustavo, and I think that there has to be a time frame for these guys to have a extended amount of success doing what they're doing. But you never rule out. I mean, we've had a lot of change, a lot of injuries, so there's still a lot of opportunity and a lot of season left.
On front of the minor leagues, Devin Taylor's been crushing the ball, but when he was drafted last year, there was some concern about his defensive ability. Just what are the reports saying about his growth with the glove? Yeah,
I think good reports. Arguably, probably our top hitter in the minor leagues right now. Darren Bush has obviously told me all about him, filled me in, how much he likes his swing. I think for Devin, he's dropped some weight, he's gotten a little more athletic, so I think that's helped his defense, and I know that it's a priority to improve his defense, and I think that there's still a lot of growth for that.
And then we talked a little bit about just playing in Vegas as a pitcher last year, or last month, but for offensive performers, could they get into a weird rhythm or just develop their habits by going from Midland where they're having success, not specifically Taylor, but and then going to Vegas where the ball flies a little bit more? Would you consider taking a hitter from Midland all the way up here?
Well, I think the key factors, obviously, with development are trying to get every player at a level where they experience some failure. Whether that's AA, whether that's AAA. It's really hard right now. I think there's a separation between the big leagues and AAA in terms of performance and the way that it translates right now. So as far as hitters go, moving them from AA to the big leagues, you don't want to say that that's not a possibility with the evaluations, but sometimes they benefit from, like you say, going to a hitter's park, gaining even more confidence. I don't think that they'll do anything differently to change the way they attack the baseball from AA to AAA, whether the ball stays in the air longer. I think the foundation is built by the time they get there in terms of how they approach the zone and what their swing path is. But if they do, then there's obviously indicators that we'll see and be able to make adjustments with.
You mentioned yesterday Butler realizing kind of a leadership role that he can take on this team. How important is it for guys like him and Wilson and maybe Soderstrom, who not that long ago were like the guys like Tommy White and these guys to maybe, I don't know, have more of a voice, especially with like Rooker and Langeliers around, but not maybe playing, obviously.
It's really important for those guys to, step up in a leadership role and continue to build a culture here that obviously they're a part of. It's you mentioned all of the guys that are committed to go to Vegas, Rooker being one of them, but not healthy, probably not feeling like he can step up and have a meeting or talk about how we want to finish the season off. But for Lawrence, for Tyler, and for Jacob, those three guys are committed to being in Vegas. Their contracts take them through an extended period in Vegas, and they need to be a big part of that leadership group.